Caitlin Clark, let it be known, she does not like this Stephanie White offense, how these players in the WNBA don't even know where to move or how to move or where to cut. And that leads to a lot of her turnovers. And she also states how much she misses Lisa Bluder. And I think all of us Indiana Fever Caitlin Clark fans prefer if Lisa Bluder was the head coach of the Indiana.
It wasn't just Caitlin Clark who lit up the scoreboard. She may have just burned her whole playbook. Imagine sidelining the very offense you're leading while setting rookie records. Then, as if it were a basketball fairy tale, you casually wish your former college coach would intervene. Indeed, Clark's impact is greater than that of a half-court buzzer beater. Furthermore, the drama in the locker room can be more entertaining than the actual game. You won't believe the extent of this rift's potential.
I mean, what's going on here? And I'm sorry, but if Stephanie White's supposed to be this all-world coach, you're not going to show up to a game against the Phoenix Mercury with DeWanna Bonner playing on the other side after what she did to the Indiana Fever franchise, and you show up there and somehow the team is lifeless? Sophie Cunningham coming back to Phoenix and the team is lifeless? That is the coach.
Caitlin Clark didn't simply enter the WNBA to follow the pass here, pass there, run in a circle manual, and dribble courteously. No, this is the same player who, during her first year of college, essentially threw Lisa Bluder the Ferrari keys and told her to go for a drive. Avoid crashing. Caitlin did not crash either. She made it appear like a highlight reel, even though she drove that vehicle off-road and hit 90 in a 40 zone.
Sums up why I can't stand Stephanie White as a basketball coach for Caitlin Clark. I don't think that Stephanie White is a bad coach. Don't get it twisted. She's not a bad coach at all. I just don't think she's the right coach for Caitlin Clark. So let's take a listen to this right here. This was on the podcast with Super.
But I think that's even been something like me and Steph have always talk about when we go and watch film, and even that New York game where I played really, really well. Obviously scored a lot of points. I think I had 9 assists or 10 assists that game.
She was a rebound and assist off a 32-point triple-double. And is the only reason her team's in the game.
As a result, you can only imagine the shock she receives when she joins the WNBA and is forced to play in the Stephanie White offense, which, to be brutally honest, feels more like a HOA meeting over mailbox color. There are rules everywhere and no room for innovation.
Man, it's just going to be interesting to see her come back and see this team fully go full circle around their set leader, and I'm still banking on it being Caitlin Clark. Without Caitlin Clark, they had 19 in the one game and 16 in their previous game without CC even playing.
The Liberty game is the next step. Caitlin is preparing food, not heating up, not warming up a bit. Cooking as if this gym was going to burn down, and someone had phoned the fire department. Preparing food. When the fourth quarter comes around, she does indeed commit 2 turnovers. Significant. No one dragged Michael Jordan away and told him, "Michael, you're done for the night," even though he coughed up the ball. Get a folding chair now. However, what takes place here? Boom. In timeout, Clark is sitting on the bench like a mischievous child.
My precious Cece, she was upset. She didn't say nothing, no smiling, walked off, not looking at no cameras. I'm talking about, you can tell it's all on her face. She got it in her mind. But look, I need y'all to understand. That was so embarrassing and pathetic, and the teamwork was not there. But I remember Jordan had got hurt his second year. He didn't come back until playoffs, and that playoff series was legendary. He scored 63 points in one game, but he still lost though.
Other players on the floor are still receiving their minutes despite turning the ball over like it's a gift basket giveaway. Aside from Mitchell and Tash, it appears that Clark is one of just 2 players authorized to act as though basketball isn't a military exercise.
The Stephanie White offense compared to what she was doing at Iowa when she took over the world. Let's take a look.
At the college, it was very similar. like all out attack. Like we're known to have like 5 shooters on the floor at all time. Like we played with really good floor spacing, and at Iowa it was the same way. Like 4 people were on the floor that could shoot at the same time. Then obviously we usually played with a true post, but they rarely missed too. Like Mon never missed. Like Hannah Stolke was tremendous when I was there too, and even our backup post players. Like I always think about like how Coach Bluder like ran practices and things, and like I'm very fortunate looking back and like now going to like watch other colleges practices and things like that. Like she really like was so intentional about like making sure everyone was on the same.
The issue is this. WNBA coaches like Stephanie White sometimes forget that this is meant to be put on a show basketball because they are too busy playing don't make a mistake basketball. If your primary tactic is to avoid embarrassing yourself, you will not win games or fans. That isn't disrespectful. That is a shot clock used in hostage talks. That is not how Lisa Bluder ever coached. If Caitlin threw a dangerous pass or pulled up from the parking lot, she didn't stress out. Bluder recognized that the goal is to make high-risk, high-reward plays. A player's freedom isn't taken away simply because the last gamble failed. Since the next one could be the dagger, you double down. However, this is where the absurdity of the whole situation lies, in the White system and Caitlin Clark's worldview. She notices plays coming together 3 seconds before they take place. Most veterans can only dream of having that skill. But rather than using that ability, White confines Caitlin to a small space, as if she fears that if she is allowed too much freedom in more than a decade, she may slip into another reality.
In over 10 years, and Caitlin Clark has something to do with that, man. They was 8-5 with Caitlin. At the end of the day, no matter how many games they win, they lost more games without Caitlin Clark playing. Like, so everybody argument that Caitlin Clark is the Achilles heel, Caitlin Clark is this and that, your argument is obsolete, bro. They will forever have that notion on there, that blemish on there. Now, if they would have won more games, lost less, then you might have had something.
Do you know what the WNBA is now lacking? Basketball intelligence that drives the game rather than just following it. And some of these college coaches are very good at it. To be honest, Lisa Bluder would have a team scoring 110 points every night without any effort if she were hired for the WNBA tomorrow. In the meantime, in order to provide safe basketball, the current system is busy stifling creativity. That is about as thrilling as watching a slow-motion painting dry. Because risks result in bench time, players are scared to take chances. Additionally, if you're Caitlin Clark, your creativity is suppressed. Your self-confidence is undermined. Bring the return of college freedom. Bring in the coaches who know that a turnover made in the sake of innovation is worth 10 unsuccessful safe plays. Bring back the WNBA's Lisa Bluder spirit. Additionally, it's possible that basketball will start to be played in a way that makes people sit up and not scroll past.
Still lost though, but at the end of the day, he fought, and you could tell that he missed being away from the game. So I can see my precious CC coming back doing her thing for the playoffs. I just want her to be 100% healthy at the end of the day. If Stephanie White gonna keep jeopardizing.
Because Caitlin Clark getting benched for daring to be thrilling is currently the only thing more predictable than the offense. Don't be surprised if the league loses the very thing it needs most if that becomes the new norm. Players who captivate you with their performances. Let's just talk about the gym's elephant. The fixation of the WNBA with veteran priority. Oh, you believed in meritocracy? Adorable. The hierarchy is actually quite straightforward. You can miss 3 open layups, trip over your own shoelaces, and more if you've been around longer than the newbie. You can still play if you inadvertently pass the ball to the mascot. Rookie, when attempting to make a play, make 1 ostentatious turnover. Boom. She didn't just give Clark the crime right away. It's yours now, she declared, putting a do not return sticker on it and essentially gift wrapping it. Make it glitter. Bluder recognized that criticizing a player for every flaw doesn't help them gain confidence. It is constructed by allowing them to solve it on the fly, even if that means occasionally having an unsightly possession.
Indiana Fever fans, so let's keep it real, let's keep it 100 like I'm being frank, you hear me? So let me ask y'all again, is Stephanie White a good coach, a great coach? I'm waiting. No, she not even close. If anything, she puts a star in the offense. She's sucking the life out of the team, out of the franchise. And Kelly Krostoff, whatever her name is, Lynn Dunn, you hear me? They all need to go.
However, if we examine current events, we will discover that Stephanie White's offense resembles a tax return. Intricate, full of pointless stages, and always leaving someone feeling irritated. The sets are inflexible. The ball moves carefully. It's like driving 35 in the fast lane with your hazard lights on in basketball. You may prevent an accident, but you're also ensuring that no one is enjoying themselves. The worst part is that Caitlyn's growing pains as a rookie aren't the issue. No, the goal here is to suppress the one trait that made what made her unique in the first place, her unpredictable nature. You want the defenders to be afraid that she could thread an impossible pass, pull up from the logo, or alter the game's rhythm entirely. Playing under a system that views innovation as a technical foul won't get you that. It's nearly ironic. That means that even if it destroys your natural game, we want you to play our way. Bluder and other college coaches, meanwhile, are more than just game experts. They are aware of players. They are aware of when to pull back, when to push, and when to let a star be a star. After 2 turnovers in the fourth, do you believe Bluder would have benched Clark? Please. She would have been composing a new play for her and said, "Go make them pay for even thinking you're off your game."
Stephanie White, Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White remains fully confident in her team following Thursday's deflating loss. The veteran coach sent a clear message. It was a 35-point ass drubbing. It was deliverance and Ned Beatty. Anybody seen that? Squeal like a pig? Yeah. The Phoenix Mercury bleeped the shit out of the Indiana Fever last.
Speaking about dropping your game, let's discuss the message this conveys to the other players on the team. For a small infraction, your star rookie, the one generating ticket sales, TV ratings, and real victories, can be benched. What does that convey to the rest of the world? Steer clear of danger, play it safe, and never try anything new. It's basketball, but the thrill has been cut out. This leads us back to basketball IQ, the more significant issue. There is a scarcity, and it is with the systems more than the players. At the professional level, the brightest minds in the sport aren't necessarily on the sidelines. Indeed, a few of them continue to compete in the NCAA around professional instructors who are more creative but have less skill. When you put a coach like Bluder in charge of a WNBA team, all of a sudden the team is playing as if they genuinely love the game. Let's be frank with ourselves. Some players in this league have perfected the knack of appearing occupied while performing no useful actions on the court. Despite being cardiac kings and queens, they are safe because they don't cause trouble or stray from the plan. However, she has a front-row ticket to the remainder of the game as Clark takes one risk too many.
In the post-game press conference, Caitlin Clark Stephanie White made sure to give out about Caitlin Clark not passing the ball to Dantas. Like, we've seen Damiris Dantas play. She can't shoot. Why would Caitlin Clark pass the ball on an all-time heater to Dantas?
This last game this year. I started the fourth quarter off with like 3 turnovers in a row or 2 turnovers in a row, and Steph yanked me, and she was like this is like a learning moment. Like, you got to be able to, like, yes, like maybe it could have been there, like maybe you could have thrown a little bit better of a pass, maybe they could have caught it, but like, do we need that in this moment?
You don't muzzle the most talented player to enter the WNBA in a long time if you want to see it flourish. She is dangerous at that point, so you grant her the same freedom that she had under Bluder. She is the player that everyone came to see at that point. Look, turnovers do occur. They participate in the game. Without them, you can't be aggressive. What's worse than turnovers, though? An offense that is so foreseeable that the defense could recite the letters backwards while wearing a blindfold. Ironically, Clark is likely to correct her errors more quickly if you allow her to live with them. That is a high IQ player's advantage. They adjust. They pick things up quickly. However, you aren't teaching them if you bench them. All you're saying is don't try. Lisa Bluder was aware of this. Because she saw the wider picture, she wasn't scared of the odd misfire. Furthermore, it's not only Caitlin Clark's issue. It affects the entire league. However, since we are aware of Clark's appearance while she is free, she makes the ideal case study. We witnessed it for years. With a style that captivated even uninterested supporters, we witnessed her torch teams. She is currently being pressured to adopt a style that is more in line with the coach's comfort level than with her own. And that only serves to extinguish the spark that made her a household name before she even performed. Professional game.
Lisa Bluder always made sure people knew what they were going to do, aka she made sure people knew their role. Everybody knew their role, and that is the problem with the Indiana Fever and the bullcrap that Caitlin Clark deals with now. We got Natasha Howard coming in talking about she wanted to win MVP. Red flag. Red flag. We got Caitlin Clark, and you're talking about joining this team and winning MVP. She didn't know her role. Didn't know her role. That is the difference. We got a bunch of people on this team that do not know and understand their role.
This is the solution. Coaches should be brought in who teach their players, not their playbook. Give Clark a break.
Permit her to try.
Yes, allow her to make mistakes. More safe possessions are not necessary for the WNBA. There should be more jaw-dropping ones. And a little turmoil is necessary to achieve that, since nobody is ultimately purchasing tickets to watch a team play it safe. They are purchasing tickets in order to see the next significant event, which will be reenacted for years to come. Additionally, the most talented creative in the league is currently spending too much time on the sidelines when she ought to be making them. You know what? What else is amusing? The way people discuss safeguarding Caitlin Clark as though she were a delicate vase on an unstable shelf. What precisely are you protecting her from? The basketball court. She isn't a porcelain figurine. In college, she was the player who frequently entered hostile venues, dropped 40, and left as the audience jeered because she had destroyed their evening. If the defense knows exactly where the ball is going during every possession, you will not be able to win in the long run. Additionally, Clark's offensive now has all the spontaneity of a DMV line in this system.
Today, Stephanie White has a clear conundrum on her hands, and she needs to figure out a solution to this problem before it's too little, too late. When Caitlin Clark was out with injury, Natasha Howard played well. Natasha Howard played well enough that kept us afloat along with Ari McDonald, along with Kelsey Mitchell, but Natasha Howard wasn't nearly as much of a hinder to the offense with Caitlin Clark.
She was orchestrating as well as scoring. It seemed like anything could happen with every possession. A steal into a quick break, a deep three, or a devious pass. Fans were captivated, and defenses were kept guessing by that unpredictability. You don't simply alter her style the moment you take that away. You achieve it by allowing them to perform in the manner that initially made them famous. Restore the freedom. Restore your swagger. Restore the approval Lisa Bluder gave Clark on the first try. Since it will succeed half the time, let her attempt the pass that might not work. Additionally, when it appears on all of the nation's sports highlight reels, Caitlin Clark is now the WNBA's golden ticket. However, the league will transform that ticket into a receipt if they continue to allow inflexible procedures to cut her wings. Furthermore, arenas are not sold out by receipts.